Wayne and Kendrick in terms of their availability for Tuesday?
Yeah, we still don't know how they're going to be listed, but Kendrick did participate in practice along with Malik, and Wayne did not. So we'll still obviously see how Kendrick responds to the work today before we decide his availability. And then Malik.
Everyone else doing okay?
Everybody participated, yes.
What do you want to get out of these last couple of practices, and what are the things that you feel like can be fine-tuned in time versus things that, I'm assuming there are other things that you just know you're going to have to figure out on the fly and work on in real games?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is just to continue to build our conditioning, to get these guys up and down and playing and making full speed reads with one another on both sides of the ball, communicating out defensive coverages, and then, the pass and catch, timing and rhythm, within our offense is something that is it's going to continue to take time. But the execution pieces of our spacing and our defensive scheme, we've been hitting those pretty hard, so that we're in the right place and working together in those situations. And hopefully that there's a lot of discipline in regards to that early on.
Once you guys got Russ, the prevailing dialogue around the move is how he and LeBron were going to fit together and how they would play off each other, and whether it made sense to have two guys who are so ball dominant and distributors like they are. From what you've seen over the 3 weeks, I guess, that they've been together, what is your view on how they fit together?
Yeah, so far there's been great willingness, to play off of each other and to read each other, and it's really been pretty seamless in terms of who's bringing it, who's initiating, where guys are going to be, and then obviously playing with one another, in two-man action. I think that chemistry has been pretty strong to start, but there's definitely a willingness for those guys to share and sacrifice, and to coexist out there.
Has there been any sequence out there, a period where Russ maybe kind of pulled back and not play his normal game? Was he still playing the way he always does?
No, he's still playing the way he always does. We're asking him to be effective and aggressive without the basketball. When Braun has it, when AD has it, every bit as much as we're asking him to do it with the basketball. And I thought he's picked that part of it up really well.
How does having AD and LeBron, you think maybe influence Russell's interest in, or maybe not interest isn't the right word, but just sort of commitment to doing some of those off-ball things and staying active when he doesn't have the ball in hand?
How do those guys influence him?
Yes.
Well, it's just they're all working together. It's not a one-way street. They're all talking about coverages and where each other is going to be. When the other has the basketball. So whether it's post-up action or open court action, pin downs, pick and roll, whatever action those guys are getting in. We're trying to have a system base where guys are going to be aggressive off the ball.
Right, because of the nature of this preseason with guys in a lineup, because you guys played more games than any other team, that some guys were building in rest. Was that moment that you mentioned to us kind of in passing, halftime of Sacramento, important, like get a chance to actually use accountability with this group? Because kind of up until then, you could have made all sorts of, we don't have this guy, this, that, but it sounds like you said that, hey, this isn't about just having new bodies or whatever. Like, we have to play at a better standard.
Well, yeah, it's tough to get 15-plus year vets, to be completely serious about the preseason. And I shouldn't say serious. I think guys are competing, but, there was definitely a preseason carelessness to some of our passes that, hopefully goes away, and just something that we want to get on top of, as early as we can. And we talked about that. But there's been other points along the way with other elements of our system, running back in transition consistently, not complaining to the refs while there's live ball turnovers, all the defensive coverages and, collision mindset situations defensively. It's just part of coaching the team, and, we've been pushing them to be really good in all those areas. And, hopefully, the preseason was good for us, even if the win-loss record wasn't.
Have you gotten to know Russ much personally? his family and things like that, things that maybe help off-court relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I spent a lot of time with him early on when he first came to us in the summer, talking about each other's families. I've met his wife at Anthony's wedding, so we were able to share some laughs then. We're probably going to meet his kids, I believe, here today at the picnic. And, it's just one of the things that, everybody always talks about Russ being such a great guy. That's you want to see for yourself, but, he really is. He's fun to be around. He cares. He's compassionate. And, some of the on-court demeanor stuff when he's competing, is not really indicative of who he is as a person. So I've enjoyed that part of it.
We are talking on your roster. I mean, the other flip side being older is that a lot of guys marry, have families, have kids. Does that change the dynamic for the relationships that you see at all? Or?
In some ways, I mean, you want to connect with all your players, whether they're young guys out of college that that don't have families, or whether they're they got kids in high school. It really doesn't change how much you want to connect with your players, but certainly there is that element.
Thanks, Coach.
Okay.